Welcome back to This Week So Far, the show where we connect the dots so you don't have to. This time, the dots have already been sworn in, deported, exploded, defunded, or quietly buried in a PDF. It's been 4 days since Sunday. What a 4 days it has been, which in news time is approximately 3 constitutional crises, 1 international incident, and a partridge in a pear tree that lost Medicare coverage. Let's get into it. Here I am, channeling the energy of Goku. Please, Goku, allow me to start 2026 with a power level over 9,000. In our first segment, Al Jazeera reports that as the world rang in 2026 with fireworks, champagne, universal understanding that nothing resets just because the calendar flipped, unfortunately, Switzerland saw a New Year's Eve explosion at a packed ski resort bar, killing dozens of people, injuring over 100 people. Authorities are still investigating, but rest assured this was not caused by thoughts, prayers, or vibes. Meanwhile, Axios reports that cities from New York to Sydney celebrated under heightened security. So I'll tell you, nothing says fresh start New Year's Eve like armed patrols and trauma-informed fireworks. In our next story, let's talk about aid, but make sure it's conditional. Washington Post reports that Israel announced it will bar dozens of international organizations from operating in Gaza, citing security concerns. Oh boy. Humanitarian groups say that this will drastically limit food, medical aid, and the basic survival resources that civilians need. Which I guess is the point, depending on who you ask and whether they have either a microphone or a missile. In our next segment, Flight 370 is back in a sequel that nobody asked for. The Associated Press reports a new deep-sea search has officially resumed for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. This is the plane that vanished back in 2014 and has more or less lived rent-free in humanity's collective anxiety ever since. Yes, we're still looking. No, we're not confident. And yes, it does seem more organized than many governments of today. In our next bit, Yemen, but quietly, Reuters reports the United Arab Emirates has announced that it's withdrawing remaining forces from Yemen, which is further complicating an already catastrophic regional conflict and, subtly beefing with Saudi Arabia in the process. So nothing dramatic here, just a slow motion geopolitical breakup that will absolutely have consequences later for all of us. In our fifth segment, let's talk about America speedrunning more chaos, classic us. Zohran Mamdani, this was reported by CBS News, our man with the plan, Zohran Mamdani, sworn in as mayor of New York City in a midnight ceremony inside an abandoned subway station. It's either symbolic brilliance or Gotham-level foreshadowing. Either way, New York said lean into the aesthetic, right? My money says that this is the year of the subway marriage. Add it to the 2026 bingo card. Next story. Unfortunately, we got to talk about Trump. I hate talking about him, but of course there's news in the new year. Reuters reports in a move that absolutely dares you to ask, wait, what? Trump administration has moved to cancel Medicare coverage for children under expanded eligibility rules. If you're wondering how that helps anyone, now, just as a reminder, this is our president. This guy. This honestly looks like an AI was trained exclusively on press photos, spray tans, and wax museum lighting. Then they told the AI, make him look authoritative, but also like he just woke up during a Zoom deposition. Face, still downloading. Hair, error 404. Eyes, not even on the same timeline. One of them is still over in 2017. Skin tone, we'll set that to roasted PDF. Mouth, buffering a lie. Confidence, straight out of corrupted memory. This image needs patching immediately. What? Human.exe has stopped responding. Continuing along on the American speedrunning chaos theme, Reuters also reports that Trump announced withdrawal of National Guard troops from several major U.S. cities, declaring the mission was accomplished. The mission was not accomplished. Nope! The mission was unclear in the first place, the threat undefined, accountability unavailable. And let's be clear, withdrawal from blue cities like LA and Chicago. They didn't even send the National Guard to red cities. I can't imagine why. In our next segment, deportation, but make it a pop era. Love this. Change.org shares Nicki Minaj's long-running deportation saga finally reached what her fans are calling a historic milestone. Spoiler alert, not her fans. But we've hit signature number 36,553 as of this morning. Absolutely spectacular. It's a little unclear about what happens next, but the Barbs are tracking it like a vinyl release, and the government seems equally confused. I was today years old when I learned that the Barbs are Nicki Minaj's hardcore fan club. How fun! In our next segment, a little bonus round for you. Money laundering last year, 2025. The Financial Times reports that U.S. fines for dirty money, sanction violations, and financial crimes have dropped more than 60% this year. America. Good news for criminals and Trump, bad news for all the rest of us suckers. It's fantastic news if your ideology is, what if the rules were optional? This will be fine. Everything's fine. So yeah, that's been since Sunday. Explosions, deportations, canceled healthcare, disappearing aid, reappearing planes, a mayor being sworn in like a Batman origin story. If you feel overwhelmed, folks, remember that is not anxiety. That's pattern recognition. We'll see you next week. Assuming nothing happens in the next 5 minutes.